Hello, everyone. It's wonderful to have you here again. We appreciate your presence with us today. We have an enchanting new tale to unveil for you. Let us embark on this journey together. My name is Ethan, and if there's one lesson I've come to understand deeply, it's as if the mysteries of life unfold quietly, hidden in the shadows of your own home. People often speak of love as a foundation of trust, suggesting that when you encounter the right person, you should surrender your heart entirely. Yet, I must share a thought. When you place your trust without question, your commitment seems to be wavering. Your actions are quite misguided. I discovered that through a journey of experience. I once held a vision of love that was deep and unwavering, where two souls stand united, always supporting one another, and where the idea of betrayal feels utterly foreign. I never imagined I would find myself in a position to reflect on how my own wife has led me to reconsider everything I thought I knew about love, commitment, and marriage. Yet, here I sit, contemplating the journey that has brought me to this moment. I come to understand the subtle ways in which love can cloud our judgment. You may notice the subtle hints, or perhaps you choose to overlook them, unwilling to accept that someone you hold dear might have the power to wound your heart. You might believe that your unwavering loyalty and commitment are mirrored in them, yet that isn't always the reality. After all that I have experienced, I find myself questioning the essence of love, feeling as though it is merely a term that people use casually, often devoid of genuine sentiment. If you choose to stay, you'll come to see the depth of my feelings. I encountered my wife Vanessa when I was 30, and she was 25, radiating vitality. At that stage in my life, I was prepared to settle down, to nurture a family, and to forge something enduring. The moment we connected, everything fell into place. We could engage in conversation for hours, exploring every topic under the sun, and to those observing us, we appeared to be the quintessential couple. We shared a beautiful connection for just over a year before I decided to ask the question. Some might argue that it wasn't enough time, but in my heart, I knew I had found my soulmate. There were no glaring signs to suggest otherwise. There was nothing that caused me to waver in my choice. Our shared interests brought us closer, and every moment spent together felt effortless, as if we were destined to unite. After our marriage, life unfolded beautifully. We found ourselves in a lovely home that my mother owned, and as we embraced our new routine, there was a moment when it felt as if I had captured all my dreams. I felt a deep sense of joy in those early days, as we shared countless moments side by side. Yet, in reflection, it's often those we hold closest who can bring the most profound disappointments. One day, Vanessa softly shared that her phone was misbehaving, continued to pause unexpectedly. The battery seemed to fade away too quickly, and some apps refused to respond. A wave of frustration washed over her. I assured her that I would handle it with care. I brought her phone to a repair shop. Believing it would be a simple solution, the technician examined it and informed me that fixing the phone would nearly amount to half the cost of a brand new device. That left me feeling puzzled. If I was already investing that much, I thought it would be lovely to surprise her with something new. I imagined it would bring her joy. And truly, the thought of surprising her brings me joy. Rather than opting for a repair, I chose to surprise her with a beautiful new phone. I had no idea that this seemingly minor choice would alter the course of my life entirely. Before transferring files from the old phone to the new one, I felt a moment of pause, wanting to savor the last glimpse of memories held within. I needed to ensure that everything precious was safely backed up. Photos, contacts, messages, the essentials. Yet, as I navigated through the menu, a concealed folder drew my gaze, its presence subtle and elusive among the ordinary files. A whisper within urged me to unveil it. As I opened the folder, a wave of tension coursed through me. There it was, a dating app waiting to be discovered. My mind wrestled with the question of why my wife would choose to have a dating app. I chose to delve deeper, and with each scroll, it became clear that she was weaving a captivating intrigue. The words within revealed all the secrets I longed to understand. She had been engaging with other men, not just recently but even during our time together. Some exchanges were lighthearted, others carried a teasing undertone, and a few were so bold that they left me feeling unsettled. My fingers curled around the phone as I absorbed each line. Different men, varied conversations, yet a familiar rhythm emerged. She laughed at their jokes, welcomed their advances, and replied in ways that unmistakably conveyed her allure. She wasn't merely being friendly. There was a deeper layer to her actions that had been unfolding right before my eyes. Without a moment's pause, I began to take screenshots, preserving the names, dates, and the most troubling aspects of our exchanges. I took care to capture every detail, knowing that if she attempted to weave a different story later, these messages would reveal the truth on their own. Once I gathered what I sought, I gently locked the phone and passed it to the shop operator. "Proceed with the transfer," I instructed, my voice calm as the technician continued to move the files. I stood there, lost in thought, contemplating whether she had always possessed this essence. No matter how I tried to rearrange my feelings, one truth remained undeniable. This was a matter I couldn't overlook. I felt an undeniable urge to reach out to her, to seek the clarity I craved before the day came to a close. With a quiet determination, I stepped through the door, my heart fluttering slightly. I revealed the brand new phone, offering it to her with a gentle smile that spoke volumes. As I gazed at her, her eyes sparkled with warmth, and in an instant, she enveloped me in her embrace, planting a gentle kiss on my cheek. "Oh my goodness, darling, you surprised me with a new phone." There was no need. Her joy was sincere and radiant. Lost in the unfolding moment, I allowed her to savor the experience for a few seconds before I gently cleared my throat and began to speak. Indeed, it seemed more appealing than attempting to repair the old one. "Just so you know, I took a moment to glance at your phone before the transfer began." My voice flowed with a serene clarity, yet carried an unmistakable intensity. I noticed the dating app, and in that moment her smile dimmed completely. "Forgive me for interrupting," she spoke, her gaze softening just a touch. Our eyes locked in a lingering moment. "I noticed it, Vanessa. I caught a glimpse of the conversations you've been having with others, just for a moment." She gazed at me, her eyes searching for the right words. Then, with a hint of disbelief, she scoffed. "You went through my phone. Honestly, Ethan, that feels like a breach of trust. Is there a doubt in your heart about my trustworthiness?" I anticipated that response, shifting the focus onto myself rather than addressing her actions. I remained unshaken. "That's not the essence of what I meant," I stated with conviction. "I'm curious about what led you to create a dating profile and what draws you to connect with other men." Her expression shifted once more. She sensed my unwavering resolve. "Gaze upon this. I wasn't looking for anything too deep," she whispered softly. I found myself in a moment of stillness, feeling a sense of restlessness. Meeting someone had never crossed my mind as part of my plans. "Can you feel the weight of how complicated this situation is?" I spoke softly yet firmly, my focus drawn to someone beyond our immediate space. "Our union feels fragile, and I deeply wish to protect us from unraveling." She glanced at me, her gaze flickering as if the gravity of her actions was too much to bear. I inhaled deeply, grounding myself and asserting my presence. "It's time to bring this to a close. Remove the app and distance yourself from every connection you've made. I need reassurance that this won't occur again." She nodded with a gentle, lingering grace. "All right, I will remove it." She took out her phone, and in that moment, everything else faded away. She removed the app from her device. I observed her as she moved with grace, yet deep within me, I sensed that this journey was far from complete for the coming 8 months. Life flowed onward as if nothing had transpired, even after Vanessa vowed she had erased the dating app and severed ties with those men. I truly wanted to trust her each time those messages and conversations with other men drifted into my thoughts. A wave of emotion washed over me. I whispered to myself to release the tension, reminding my heart that connections thrive on trust. If I continued to doubt her, I would only create distance between us. There were moments when the sound of her phone vibrating would send a flutter through me, a tightening in my stomach. Yet, I held back from asking who it was, not wanting to become that husband consumed by doubt, suffocating his wife with suspicion. Little did I know, As I struggled to reassure myself that all was well, the truth was quietly unfolding around me. My wife was quietly navigating a hidden world, just beyond my awareness. One morning, I awoke with a strange awareness, as if my body was holding me accountable for an unseen transgression. A burning, stinging sensation accompanied my need to relieve myself, prompting me to pause and reflect. The unsettling thought of chlamydia or gonorrhea flickered through my mind, leaving me in a state of unease. Felt utterly perplexing. How could this be unfolding before my eyes? As the day unfolded, the ache lingered, deepening with each passing moment. What began as a gentle discomfort blossomed into overwhelming pain. Each visit to the bathroom became a struggle, and by evening, I observed something even more unsettling. A thick, yellowish discharge. In that instant, everything fell into place. The following morning, my body whispered to me, revealing an undeniable sense that something was amiss. I hurried to the hospital, my heart racing with anticipation, yearning for some clarity amidst the uncertainty. That wasn't the one I dreaded. Perhaps it was just a simple infection, but after a thorough examination and lab tests, the doctor took a moment to sit with me and gently revealed that I had an STD. I gazed at him, hoping for more words to bridge the silence. Yet, all he offered was the simple truth that these infections are only passed through intimate contact. That was all. My wife shared an intimate moment with another. There simply was no other way to understand it. I stepped out of the hospital, enveloped in a haze. That night, as I lay beside Vanessa, I found myself gazing at the ceiling, my thoughts swirling in a whirlwind of emotions. The next morning, I found myself awake before her, my mind swirling with anticipation for the day ahead. I quietly made my way to the kitchen, pouring myself a cup of coffee. Moments later, Vanessa entered, her presence filling the space with warmth. She brushed her lips against my cheek, and I struggled against an instinctive urge to pull away. Instead, I allowed her to pour herself some coffee. "Please have a seat." I took a sip, then gazed deeply into her eyes and asked, "Kim, have you shared your heart with anyone else?" The change in her expression was instant, her features contorting into a look of deep offense, as if I had just leveled the most shocking accusation against her. She set her cup aside with a soft huff, a hint of amusement dancing in her eyes. "Pardon me, what sort of question is that?" "A straightforward one. Have you shared your heart with someone else?" I felt the tension rise as I noticed the fire igniting in her gaze. It was hard to fathom this moment. "Are you truly suggesting that I would betray your trust after all we've shared? We've journeyed together, and I remained steadfast. Have you decided to distance yourself from those men on that dating app, just as you vowed?" That was the moment she ignited. "Oh my goodness, are we really revisiting that once more? I assured you that I removed it all." Can you imagine the weight of being with someone who holds back their trust? Can be truly draining. This is utterly absurd. Ethan is simply unbelievable. But I wasn't going to retreat. "Just pass me your phone." She drew back just a bit, instinctively bringing it closer to herself. "No, that feels like a breach of intimacy." I nodded gently. "Very well. Let's make our way to the hospital and experience this together." She reclined in her chair, her arms gracefully folded. "I feel no need to demonstrate anything to you." That was the only confirmation I sought. I released a soft breath through my nose, feigning a release of tension in my shoulders, as if surrendering to the moment. Yet, the instant she turned her gaze, I surged forward, seizing the phone from her grasp before she could reclaim it. I gently placed it against her face to unlock it. She gasped and leaped from her seat, reaching out to me, but the moment had passed. The screen illuminated, and as I began to scroll, I found everything I had dreaded. Whispers, captivating glimpses of exchanges and moments shared with various individuals, some recent, some reaching back through time, intimate plans to connect, and heartfelt messages of longing. She continued on, unwavering, even as I pleaded for it to stop. She had been deceiving me all along. As I turned to gaze at her. "How could you betray my trust like this?" My voice held a haunting tranquility. She offered no apology, nor did she attempt to weave a story to escape the moment. Instead, she scoffed and raised her middle finger directly at me. In that instant, Something within me broke. "Pack your things. This marriage is over," I declared, my voice steady. "I want you gone before I return." Her lips curled into a playful smirk, a glimmer of doubt dancing in her eyes as she considered my words. I felt a rush of urgency as I reached for my car keys, not wanting to linger in the moment any longer. Stepped out into the world, leaving her behind, as I drove a short distance down the road. I pulled over, my heart racing, and dialed my lawyer, seeking the finest divorce attorney in town. I needed this resolved swiftly. By the time I reached my parents' house, a quiet certainty settled within me. I wouldn't be returning that day. They embraced my presence, feeling a swirl of emotions about my early arrival. I simply shared that I needed some time, leaving the full story unspoken for now. I found it difficult to settle in when I returned to my space 2 days later. It felt hollow. She had departed. I felt a quiet certainty about her absence. The truth revealed itself to me in a gentle whisper, as if it had been waiting patiently for the right moment to emerge. She stepped into the warmth of another man's home, a place that had been shared with one of the men she had been seeing in secret, long before I was aware of the truth. That realization ignited a deep ache within me. Words escape me. I won't pretend the experience of divorce was a profound struggle. People discuss it as if it's merely a matter of paperwork, a straightforward process where you sign a few documents and move on. Yet, the truth is far more complex. A brutal divorce transcends the legal separation. It involves disentangling yourself from the life you once shared. It's about waking up to the realization that the person you cherished, the one with whom you created a world, is now a distant memory. The sacrifices made for someone you envisioned sharing your life with were never truly yours to claim. The ache that lingers is a burden I wouldn't wish upon anyone, not even my fiercest adversary. The pain was deeper because my love for her was genuine, and I offered her my all, yet she responded with nothing but deceit. Through this experience, I gained wisdom, albeit the hard way, and now I wish to share these lessons with other men so they may avoid a similar fate. Initially, love should not be approached with blind faith. It is meant to be constructed on a foundation of trust, yet that trust must be earned, never given without thought. It must be deserved. I placed my trust in Vanessa, driven by a desire to believe in her, rather than acknowledging whether she truly earned it. That was where I faltered. Secondly, if someone shows you disrespect once, it's likely to happen again. I found her conversing with other men, and rather than stepping away, I stayed. I surrendered to her persuasion. It was innocent. That was the moment I realized I should have departed. Actions speak louder than words. Words may caress your desires, but it is through their actions that the true essence is revealed. Vanessa confided in me that she had removed the app. Vanessa confided in me that she had chosen to end our relationship, yet I discovered that she was still entwined with other men in secret. Ultimately, when someone reveals their true self to you, embrace that truth. Just one subtle sign can speak volumes. Don't linger for another moment. I share this story not for sympathy, but because I believe there is a man out there who needs to listen, especially if he is overlooking the signs. If you find yourself doubting your instincts, if you're justifying the actions of someone who continually disrespects you, remember to safeguard your heart and cherish your future. If you know someone who could benefit from this, share this video with them. It may help them avoid the heartache I experienced.